Hello. So now we will be going to discuss that how the machine learning scenarios are all about in Microsoft Azure. So there are three particular scenarios which I will be going to highlight with the three applications. Those are basically the web application. So let us now focus on the first one. The first scenario is all about regression based task. So let me just clarify it. So regression task. Okay. Now the regression task is furthermost the important one because there are some particular tasks which we need in the context of a value. For an example, if I'm going to have a machine learning model which is something like this, and I have injected the data in there, right? Now what happens that after a certain particular prediction, right, with our machine learning model, which is this one ML model, what we'll be going to do is that this machine learning model will be giving me some of the outcomes, right? So this will be giving me some of the outcomes, right? So here is the thing, which means this ML model is furthermost the important one for giving me the output. Now if I want the output, okay, if I want the output in the context of a value, right, if I want the output in the context of a value can be anything like 98, 97, or 12, or 1 2, whatever you have, right? So if I want to get the output of my ML model, right, I will be going to choose the regression based task. Now for the most important thing, the output will be a value, so that will be a arrays of value in here, right? Now the thing here is that, which is the for the most important, where do I have to use the regression task? For an example, let us consider some of the scenarios here. So question number one says that, suppose we have got Manchester United versus Arsenal, right? How many goals will Man Utd do? What's it making sense? So now just think of it in a very general way that this Manchester United versus Arsenal, how many goals will Man Utd will be doing, right? So the answer to this question will be a value, right? So the answer to this question will be a value. Now the value can be 1, can be 0, can be 9, can be 8, can be 7, right? So these are these values here, right? Now these values will be the number. Basically these values will be in the context of integers. So if I want to have a dedicated value in my machine learning model, I will be going to choose the regression based task. Okay, so this is the first scenario of the machine learning task, right? The second scenario, which is for the most important one, that is the other set of tasks, that is basically called as classification, right? So in the classification tasks, okay, let me going to consider the same set of data here. Okay, so in the classification task, there will be no such thing as called as values. In the classification task, it will be called as classes. So here it's going to be as called as classes. Now for an example, we have got injected the piece of data in here, right? And then we have got the machine learning model thing here, and then we have got the thing called as classes. Now what is the reason behind these particular classes is, these classes can be of 0, or basically these classes can be of two types. Okay, so these classes can be of two types. Now these classes can be of two types. Now the important thing which we need to check on in this particular context here is that, suppose this is one class and that's the second class. Now in the one, we can consider that this is a true case. Okay, in the one, we can consider this thing as true case, and in the second vertical context, we can consider this thing as false case, right? So the thing here is that, for the 1 and for the 0, we will be going to have this true and false thingy, right? Now the important thing is that, if I'm going to have the two number of classes, so the number of classes is 2 in this particular case. Now what we will be uh, considering here is that this is a binary class. Okay, because this is forming the relation of 0 and 1, right? Now the thing here is that if I'm going to have two classes, then the other will be the false class, right? And the next will be the true class. So the thing here is that the first will be the false class and the second will be the true class in this case. So the important thing is that not always we will be going to have two classes in this one, right? We can have n number of classes. That is what we call as multi-class classification, that will be going to cover in this course after some time. But for now, let us consider that I am going to have two classes. So first will be the true case and the second will be the false case, right? Now the furthermost important thing what we can highlight here is that we have got a particular problem statement. The problem statement says that man Manchester UTD versus Arsenal, who will win? Okay, so for suppose Man UTD is 0, and then we have got the other chances as Arsenal, we have got this thing as 1, right? So there are two particular aspects that what we have got, the classification, and the other one is that we called as the regression. Now the third most important thing what we have got here is that it's called as clustering. Okay, so clustering task. So clustering task says that once we have got the data in there, and then after that we have got this particular ML model, right? So once the data is going to injected in this particular aspect, right? Right. Okay. So now this particular model will be going to form the groups. So this is my group 1, this is my group 2, and this is my group 3, or group 4 further. So clustering task says that forming groups of data, right? So are the most important part. So we'll be going to forming the groups of data points. So this is one of the segment in here. We'll be going to form the data in this particular part, then we'll be going to feasible to the machine learning model, and then we have got this 4 to 5 groups, right? So question can be something like this: classify or basically find the most high package salaries in UK, London, based on domain, right? So we have got going to consider this one, the most high package salaries based upon London on some domain. So suppose we have got three particular groups here. So the first domain will be maybe IT domain, right? And the second will be lawyer domain, right? Basically the consulting and the legal part, and then we'll be going to have the operations domain or something like that, right? So, so these are the three particular tasks that what we will be going to see in the context of our first particular thing. All right.